Alright, this is my latest freebie score. It's a Bad Boy Buggy, one of the first series. Basically just a jacked up golf cart. I got it for free because the rear axle snapped. And I guess they couldn't find any repair parts or whatever. So I'm gonna take the rear axle right out of it. Then I'll get the axle shaft out, see if I can cross it with something. If not, I'll try to weld it up. Spraying out the axle tube, getting it ready for installing the new axle. Whatever little metal shavings or whatever's in there, I just want to clean it out. Once I get it back together, I'll run it around for a little bit and I'll drain the gear oil out again. I'll flush it again, put some new fluid back in it. All right, so like I told you before, I got a Bad Boy Buggy given to me. It's basically just a jacked up four-wheel drive golf cart. I got it for nothing, basically. Got a busted axle shaft, and they said they couldn't replace it, couldn't find one. Some of the places they checked. So I took a gamble and took it anyway. I found a golf cart guy in Royalston, thanks to a buddy of mine, Jared. And the guy, Randy, crossed it, and I got a new axle shaft, which is, I guess, they were built off an Easy Go axle and platform. So it's an Easy Go axle, 23 7/8, 21 spline. So I'm gonna install that. Got a new bearing for it. Had to beat the other one to get it out. I hammered it up pretty good. Probably put a little axle bearing grease on this before I install it. So I don't have a socket to fit over that axle and press this bearing in. So what I'm going to do is use the old bearing to block the wood. Alright, we got the axle shaft back in now. We just got to put the brake drum, everything back on. Alright, so I got the axle shaft and the rear end put back in it. I had to let it sit overnight. I had to fill the differential fluid and let the gasket set up. Today's project, bust a little rust, clean this up, hit it with a little paint, and I'll hydraulic oil it, start sticking it back together. As soon as I finish needle gunning this battery tray, I get a little bit more crust to clean off it. Alright, so I scraped all the rust down. Now I'm assuming it must be some type of acid. Some Rust-Oleum stuff. Dissolving the rust. Did that in the battery tray. Some different spots. The light rust, it really cleans the rust off. Coat it again. Then I gotta wash it off. Then I got some other stuff. Some rust mort. Same thing, this stuff says spread it on, then wash it off. But this will make like almost like a black primer with any rust that's still there. And then I'll hit it with a couple rattle cans and I'll be able to start putting it back together. You can see this stuff does work. It's phosphoric acid, and it does burn when it gets on your skin. Let that work in for a little bit more. I'll wash it down. Then I'll apply the rust mort. And then I'll wash that down. Alright, I'm giving the old Bad Boy Buggy here the old rattle can treatment. A little rust reformer primer. I rust morted the whole thing the other day. So now I just gotta top coat it. I'll hit it with this primer, and then I'll hit it with some more rattle can, gloss black. And then it's just putting it all back together. Well, I gave it the old rattle can love. Pretty well rusted up, but the batteries had leaked. Kind of the cheap way out of doing it. I don't know if it runs or anything yet. I got the batteries for it. I'm just waiting on some battery cables to come in. As soon as those come in, I can put it all back together and try it out. Alright, so I'm going to test the motor. Make sure the front motor's working before I get my controller back and find out that it doesn't. We know the motor works in the front. We'll have to set up to test the back one. Alright, to test my motor, I ran a jumper between S1 and A2, and then I'm just going to either use positive on A1 or on S2. It really doesn't matter. If I put positive or negative to each one, or either way, it'll make the motor spin. And we'll know whether it's good or not. Alright, we jacked up the back end. So we'll test out. The cart, again, doesn't make a difference which polarity goes to which one. So I see that the motor's working. So that's just telling me, see now, hook red to that one, negative to this cable. Either way it makes it run. So we know our motor's good. Alright. So I got pretty much it all back together. I just got to put the batteries in. Should be getting some new battery cables tomorrow. Should be showing up. Ordered them on eBay. Even with all the shit going on, they should still be here on time. Just topping off the batteries. Just got it on a little trickle charger. Only got 2 batteries left to go. Alright, so the package I've been waiting on just showed. Getting close to finishing. Just got these last 2 batteries to top off. But I've been waiting on this package. All new battery cables. Because when I bought the new batteries, these are the old cables that came with it. But what I didn't notice was they didn't put any posts on. So all they got is the 5/16 nut. So I had to order some new cables. I mean, I could have got some ends and cut these off and crimped them, but just as easy to order. Already made up ends. Jumped on old eBay and ordered them up. 2 days later, here they are. Taped one end of the battery cable red, so I know because I'm running it in series. Put all the new battery cables in. I'll wire back up. Test it out in a second, see how it works. Alright, so you got the controller back. Had it rebuilt. So I just stuck it back together. Before I put the whole thing back together, we'll give it a test. Well, I'd say it's working.